Hello everyone, today we're going to be reacting to SMARTSCHOOLBOY9. Ooh. Okay, so I've been basically seeing a lot of, SMARTSCHOOLBOY9, and I've already personally seen this exact video by Nick Crowley, okay? He's been just a fat bloody pervert, okay? Yeah, I've already seen this video. Oh my gosh, it's so scary. Oh, I turned my lights off, by the way, obviously. Okay, yeah, so I've already seen this video, but, I kind of just wanted to react to it because it was a pretty good video. I liked it. It was okay.
Pretending to be kids. I came across a reel randomly, and it's led me down this weird rabbit hole of people using AI or dressing up pretending to go to school. They all seem to have high heels, check images in them. Is this an age play thing or something more sinister? Literally anything helps as I keep trying to look for answers. This post was made to the subreddit r/Instagram by the user numerouscut792 on April 15th, 2024. It featured screenshots of 3 bizarre-looking Instagram pages they had encountered earlier that day, with OP expressing concern that something truly disturbing was happening with these users.
Damn.
And those in the thread agreed. What the actual fuck? Found all of them and blocked them all. Truthsticks11 is seriously creepy to me. I've been
Dude, like I've been wanting to see like if these accounts are like real, like they're probably not real, okay? Then I don't mean real as in they never existed. I'm saying real as in they probably don't exist anymore. They probably got taken down, especially after this whole thing blew up on social media, okay? I'm searching it up right now. Truthsticks_11, okay? Yeah, it's the account is monitored by a parent. Okay, so I found the account, but I don't know if it's even the original account. Wow, this is crazy actually. So you guys could search up the account still, and it's still up. Okay, nice. Creepy as hell to know.
We found anything. Very weird account, to say the least. The 3 accounts apparently belong to 3 different children. However, when combing through their posts, the content seems to imply something much more bizarre was afoot. Something truly disturbing.
Oh,
this post would be the start of a story that would eventually be picked up and shared all across the online world, becoming one of the more notorious internet mysteries in recent memory, as these accounts revealed an unending rabbit hole that is still being traversed to this very day, in an ongoing investigation into one of the most depraved oddities ever found on Instagram. This is the emerging story of SMARTSCHOOLBOY9.
Oh my gosh, bro. Alright, so this video was posted 2 weeks ago, okay, and I watched it probably a week ago. So I was pretty early to it, to say the least, But this happened a while ago, I'm pretty sure. Not too long ago, but
after these
a little minute ago. Let me put captions on for y'all, okay?
Before we get too far down this rabbit hole, I want to first thank today's sponsor.
Yo, we don't care.
AG1 is a daily foundational.
Alright, there you go. Truthsticks11, okay.
Beautiful boy, an account looked after by me, a degree-educated mother choosing to stay anonymous. This was the bio of the first account pictured in the Reddit post, an account named Truthsticks11, which was said to be operated by a 12-year-old boy and his mother. Back in October of 2021, the duo would make their very first post, kicking things off on a somewhat concerning note, though not for their own page, but instead another account on the platform.
Sorry, that was bright.
That's the account run by a man pretending to be a boy.
The video was created and posted by the for the sole purpose of warning others of the specific user, who had been posing as a child online, when in actuality he was a grown man, who did this in order to get close to and exploit other children across the platform. It's the grim reality of this online world, as predators will do just about anything to get closer to children, and it's a reality often unrealized or even ignored.
You guys gotta be careful, okay? Including me,
I'm
still a kid.
Okay? Trying to raise awareness. These posts would become the crux of the account early on. They would call out this user and their many accounts again and again, eventually going more in depth about what this person would actually do, claiming that they had a strange perversion to dressing up as a young schoolboy. Does he wish he were a young boy in a school classroom, looking nice and being successful at school? Yes. This theme of calling out online predators would remain consistent throughout the years on Truthsticks11. However, after some time, the mother behind the account began to use the page for its initially intended purpose, to share photos of her son. The photos began reasonably normal, and would show this young boy studying at school, accepting awards from the principal, and even school presentations in which their son had attended, with the captions often boasting about how intelligent the young boy was. Though over time, the photos began to grow
pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Ooh.
They looked off, almost as if they were AI generated. And on top of this, they began to appear heavily edited in an almost inexplicable manner, with deep red lipstick often being added, which was enunciated by his face being turned pure white. This unsettling trend would continue from here, as with each passing post, the photos grew less authentic and more surreal.
But why though? Like, ugh, like that's so like.
Until they became
Alright, we get it, bro.
straight
We get
up
it. We get it.
disturbed,
Okay.
even sickening. These bizarre edits spilled over past just the images too, as the posts began to appear as disjointed collages, often showcasing multiple grotesque images and paragraphs about how much this user loved school. And this wasn't the only shift either.
School is
At one
horrible.
point, the son behind the account began posting content that allegedly came directly from him, saying things like, "My really cool mom asked me if I'd like to post, and I said, yes please." He even shared supposed videos that he had filmed of himself, which were equally as unconvincing as his photos, and somehow even more chilling.
Ooh.
The boy even shows off his singing in one of the clips. Though their voice sounds off. The account was overall anomalous and extremely off-putting. And though this content was visually alarming, another aspect made it even more so concerning, as over time, many of the images began to resemble CP, showcasing these fake AI children in explicit positions, with their faces sometimes even being photoshopped onto scantily dressed adult bodies. One thing is blatantly obvious about the Truth Sticks account: the supposed child behind it is not real. Even in the more passable photos at the very beginning, there's evidence to suggest that these were likely AI as well. And based on the disturbed, borderline illegal content that this page featured, it seemed more than likely that whoever was behind this page was not an innocent mother concerned for the welfare of other children, but instead, a predatory individual themselves. And this wasn't their only account. The second page featured on the Reddit post belonged to a user named GirlChloe12 and bore striking similarities to Truth Sticks. The page was also supposedly run by a child and monitored by their parent. Bizarrely, they also posted frequently about the dangers of online predators, with the wording of these posts and the editing being essentially the exact same as Truth Sticks, just not as over the top. These two accounts even frequently interacted with each other, thus providing a substantial link on its own. But by far the most compelling link between these pages is one that is easy to miss at a glance, with that being a blatant obsession with high-heeled mini boots.
What the
These shoes were
hell?
mentioned or shown in virtually every single post made by these two users. At playtime, I'm sometimes running around with my really cool heeled footwear I wear with my uniform. After coming home from school, education isn't over for the day once the blue blazer, gray jersey, neat tie, white shirt, tailored close-fit gray trousers, and black heeled mini boots are in the wardrobe. No matter what they discussed, school uniforms and mini boots were always a talking point, which adds confirmation to something that is already becoming apparent. This is fetish content, not too unlike the bizarre accounts in the Pipergate rabbit
What
hole.
the?
Fetish content centered on children. And what makes the Chloe account so disturbing is that AI was seemingly not used, and rather the images seem to be of actual children.
That's crazy.
Despite this disturbing distinction, these two accounts are cut from the same cloth, and all signs point to them being created by the same person. A person who, despite their constant warnings of the dangers of adults pretending to be children online, seems to be doing the exact same thing, as part of some sort of fetish, the extent of which we'll discuss later. But for now, one thing was for certain: these pages were not run by children or their parents. So, who created them?
Hell no.
Well, that brings us to our third and final account shown in that initial post. SMARTSCHOOLBOY9 was much the same as the other two accounts. They warned of online predators, obsessed over high-heeled mini boots and school uniforms, and posed as a child despite clearly not being one. But SMARTSCHOOLBOY was different in one key aspect. The person behind the account was pretending to be a child, but they were doing so in a much more apparent manner, as they didn't use AI or stolen images of other kids to form their identity, and instead, they used photos of themselves. In the images posted on the account, we see what appears to be a fully grown man dressed in a
Fat
schoolboy's
man.
uniform.
Nobody, if
His
not
face is
fooling
painted
nobody.
pure white and has bright red lipstick. And he's, of course, wearing high-heeled mini boots. Characteristics that were all utilized across the other accounts. Only this time, it was done on himself.
Why does he look so
as he poses
stupid?
as a child, pretending to go to school, as well as pretending to go through other life events common for preteens. And the photos aren't even the most disturbing part, as the account consists primarily of videos.
Boys at school. Yo, this guy looks so stupid, bro.
Let me know if you like school as well.
And then after that,
Videos are all incredibly off-putting. Some show him arriving home from school.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. School.
Others show him claiming to be on the bus heading towards school.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I'm on the school bus.
And other videos showing him doing whatever this is.
yo, he's geeked out, bro. What the hell? Ugh. Why does he always do that?
With these strange sounds and the process of sticking his tongue out appearing to be part of his fetish.
Bro, what are you doing? Yo, Unc, you cannot be doing this, bro.
As much like the other accounts,
Oh
his
my
content is overtly
gosh.
sexual in
Look
its
at these
own bizarre
zesty ass
way.
pigs, bro. He's like-
1, 2.
No,
In fact,
Unc.
there's a video of him
Unc,
with his
what are
full
you
outfit
doing?
on,
Unc,
where
please,
he shows himself
bro.
staring into a mirror as he appears to pleasure himself right out of view of the camera as
Ugh.
he stares into his own eyes. This account is by far the most sickening part of this whole rabbit hole, and also the most important. Interspersed throughout his page are a few examples of what this individual's voice sounds like,
This is quite good.
which just so happens to be the same voice heard in the very first clip
is
shown
quite
on
good.
Joystick's account,
Man pretending to be a boy.
meaning that
A boy.
this full-grown adult man is the one
do his voice
playing
pretty
this
good.
entire rabbit hole. He's the
What if
one
I'm
on these
Smart
accounts
Schoolboy
pretending
9?
to be a child and their mother, getting some sort of sick satisfaction from whatever this is. And the worst part is, these activities aren't just kept behind closed doors. As we can see on numerous occasions, videos of him walking around outside in a public space. with
That's
his full
crazy,
outfit
bro.
and
Like,
face paint
seriously?
on.
How you gonna do that outside, bro? That motherfucker look like, what his name? Ñoño from El Chavo del Ocho. Mixed with
It's truly
Kiko,
one of
too,
the
bro.
strangest things that I've ever seen, and making sense of what this all is extremely difficult. But based on the information found from this first Reddit post, a few likely conclusions can be put forward. This man is clearly attracted to the idea of being a kid, and I think OP was correct when they speculated that this was some sort of age play thing, but it's also clearly much more than that too, as based on the images that he's created himself, he clearly has some sort of attraction to other children as well, as he's quite literally created Phil
Oh
CP,
my
the
gosh.
likes of which is so disturbing that I can't even really describe it here either. He's creating fetish content, and he's using the likeness of children, and also some children that are clearly very real people, to do so. That much is obvious.
It's actually crazy,
But
like,
there was
using
also
real
the
kids
possibility
for that,
he was
too.
pretending to be a kid in order to exploit other children across the internet.
Bro, like, he's not
At this
fooling
point,
nobody,
though,
bro.
This was merely speculation, with much of the Smart Schoolboy 9 case remaining a mystery, and the rabbit hole was only getting deeper from here.
3. Community. What is...
Months after this rabbit hole was introduced to the online world, the story began to be shared all across the internet, most notably on the r/internet mysteries subreddit, where the
Okay,
case
makes
really took
sense.
off. There, internet sleuths began uncovering just how vast this web of accounts actually was, as it wasn't just these 3 pages. No, there seemed to be over a dozen, and likely even more that we still haven't found, as he's created his own sort of community, his own little world, where across each page he pretends to be a child, with these accounts
What
typically
the heck
following
is
each
wrong with
other
this
and
dude, bro?
frequently interacting, seemingly to make these characters appear as though they have real friends. On one of these pages, 12 Stockwell Joanne, he poses as a 14-year-old girl, using more AI images to depict explicit positions. of
Alright,
this
bro. What the
manufactured
heck is
child,
wrong with this dude?
which
Like,
I obviously am
seriously?
not going to show here. Though much like his Chloe account, he also shows images of very real young girls. But this isn't the most concerning part of this account, as on numerous occasions he's shown images of children at a playground. which he may have taken himself.
That's
This fantasy
crazy.
of being a schoolgirl and taking part in these school-centric activities is something carried over throughout multiple of his accounts, with his most common alias being Stephanie, of which he has numerous different accounts featuring that same name.
Yeah, I'm Stephanie.
Stephanie. Shut the
This
heck
Stephanie
up,
character
bro.
claims to be a 12-year-old aspiring poet, with accounts all across the internet, many of which showcasing examples of her poetry, which carries on those same distinct sexual undertones. I race to complete my poems when I've got an early start. Heart racing, mixed rhythms, maximizing miracles, rice with rap, and on the map. My Kennington, London syllables. Dancing though I know my underwear might show if I lean forward. Good. Stephanie Stansfield, 12.
Ugh.
But digging even deeper, her poetry has even seemingly been featured in various articles and even newspapers, showcasing that this rabbit hole extends far past just the online world. This act is clearly their obsession, and he's been doing this for years, with the earliest examples that I could find coming from all the way back in 2018. And this Stephanie character seems to be his go-to alias, embodying it in even the literal sense.
Bro, who does he
As in
think
one of
he's
his many
fooling,
pages
bro?
dedicated
Like,
to the
seriously?
Stephanie character, he dresses as her, wearing a wig and a dress, as he pretends to be a
Bro,
12-year-old
he
girl.
is not fooling nobody.
Almost immediately after this case began gaining traction, the true magnitude of this rabbit hole was revealed. Across every single account are countless depraved posts and oddities that all could warrant discussion, but by far the most important discoveries were those that didn't actually occur on his own page, and rather the pages of other actual children. Do you like school? I do. It is good. You have some cool shirts, but I have to wear school uniforms to school. It is nice, but casual isn't allowed, and it's quite hot here in the UK, as the month of June suddenly got warmer. These are two examples out of many that show SMARTSCHOOLBOY9 reaching out and attempting to befriend young children online. In one comment, he even warns a child about
hell
other
no.
comments from bad people, stating that, "It happens to most boys in our age group, but stay safe, stay cool, don't be dismayed by creeps." This is our best evidence that these accounts weren't
Yeah,
just made
okay,
for
buddy.
age play. No, he's actually posing as a child in order to make friends with other children. And given his overtly sexual interests and aversion to CP, it's not hard to gather why he was doing this. And these examples are only what we found so far. It's possible that there are dozens, or who knows, maybe even hundreds of other comments out there, hidden on unknown children's accounts. This is predatory behavior. The man behind Schoolboy9 is a predator. And in case there was still any doubt of whether or not this was a sexual thing, here's what he had to say about being a 13-year-old girl. But have his tactics actually worked? Well, the frightening thing is, no one knows if he's actually been successful or not, or even what specifically he's looking for. We just know that he's trying to reach kids, as evidenced
Oh,
not only by
hell
his
no,
comments,
look at him.
but by the fact that he's solely following children on all of these pages. And though it's easy to look at these accounts and know that something is off, for children, it's not that simple, especially when there's pages showcasing photos of actual kids. Which brings up another frightening detail. Many of the images he's used of children have not been traced back to their original creator, and some seem to appear for the very first time online publicly on this man's pages, which might mean that he was sent them privately. There's even one image that David posted on his Schoolboy account, which shows another kid that he claimed to be on a playdate with, though it's impossible to say if this is real or not. For now, we just don't know for sure. Though given the fact that he's reaching out to children, posting fetish content centered around children, and has even potentially photographed kids in the wild, one thing is for certain: SMARTSCHOOLBOY9 needs to be stopped.
Yeah. Unmasked. Okay.
Finding this man and reporting him to law enforcement quickly became the top priority for those investigating the case. And
Okay,
luckily,
good.
he left several glaring clues behind that made this process a whole lot easier. On numerous occasions across his many pages, he would post images and videos of specific locations, even showing streets.
Oh, we
and
got to get the
mentioning very
GeoGuessr
particular areas
professionals
in his
on here.
poems, all of which centered around the London area, immediately giving us an idea of where he was located. And that wasn't all. I mentioned how the alias of Stephanie was one that he used more so than any other, but what's
Yeah.
interesting is that there was another name used just as often across his accounts, brought up time and time again, though it's a name that he
Oh
never
my
seemed to call
gosh.
any of his characters. Instead, he simply referred to this person as a stepbrother or a father, or even a friend from school, despite never actually picturing him, just mentioning his name, David. And sure enough, after connecting a few dots, it would be revealed that this person's actual name was in fact David Alter, with the man being 59 years old. At the moment, it doesn't appear that David has
Oh
any past
my
criminal
gosh.
convictions or documented history of this behavior, but we do know that thanks to the investigation done on Reddit and Discord, he is currently being investigated by local authorities, which will hopefully put an end to his online behavior
like, what
and shine
the
some
heck
more
is he
light on who
doing,
this
bro?
person actually is. As for the time being, the only other information that we really know about David is that he likes to write poetry and he makes music.
Bro, what the heck is this, bro?
Going back in time, not out of time. I think I like a little lemon and lime.
We is not making it out the hood with this one.
Steely Dan. I like the sound of that running train.
Oh my gosh.
And his name also
Horrible.
appears in a random newspaper, where he's discussing the importance of kids wearing school uniforms. And that's really all we have at the moment.
actually.
Though there is one very important aspect that we have yet to talk about in relation to this man, with that being David's mental state. Some believe that David is a mentally unwell individual who potentially doesn't know the extent of what they are doing. Now, even if this is the case, his behavior still needs to be stopped, and he needs to be given proper help to assure that no one else gets hurt by his actions. But it is important to note that David is far more intelligent than he lets on, as his personal accounts show us that he is fairly well-spoken and articulate. And throughout his problematic content, most of his bad grammar and strange verbiage seems to be his attempts at more authentically trying to replicate a child. But it's impossible to know for sure. But what we do know is that David is extremely manipulative, with his response to the situation and other clues littered across his accounts showing us that he seems to know what he's doing, and he knows that it's wrong. Since the exposure of
Response.
David's accounts,
Sorry, I don't
he
know why I
hasn't
read that
silently
so late.
slithered away like most other predators would. Instead, he's actually responded on more than a few occasions, lashing out to those who have DM'd him, calling them the perverts and predators. He even left a comment on his Joanne account seemingly directed at himself, writing, "You are really sad. And if that's your name, David, be honest with yourself. You're 50, as you said elsewhere. You reply to me, a girl, as if I'm your buddy? No chance ever." This is something David does all the time. It's projection, and it started all the way back at the beginning of this rabbit hole.
So, that's the account run by a man pretending to be a boy.
And he continued posting these predator exposés, along with other warnings about predators on the internet across every page he made, each of which being hyper-specific to his own predatory ways and fetishes. The things he accuses others of are blatant projections of his own dark vices. And I can think of two reasons why. Number one, that this makes his account look safer to other parents and children. It gives the appearance that he's not another internet creep because he's actively calling them out. It's a way to build trust in order to befriend and exploit kids. And number two, he knows what he's doing is wrong. And this is his bizarre way of self-reporting, probably to make himself feel better about what he's doing. And it's obvious based on just how accurate these claims against others are to him. Does he wish he were a young boy in a school classroom, looking nice and being successful at school? Yes. And these claims are made over and over again, as each time he calls someone out, he's further exposing himself, which becomes more concerning when you realize that these projections seemingly aren't strictly pedophilic. Within those eerily familiar expose posts he made on TruthSticks11, he mentions how this user not only wanted to exploit children online, but they wanted to kill them as well. As he mentions that this user has a clear interest in cannibalizing kids, and even performing ritualistic sacrifices on them. And based on how accurate all of the other exposures are to himself, I have no reason to believe that this isn't part of his MO as well, as crazy as that may sound.
Wow.
This also seems to coincide with some of the content he's posted that I can't show you, as some of these photos show children edited in contorted positions, including some where he's added what appears to be rope to give the illusion that they're tied up. And what makes this even more disturbing is that on his accounts he's posted numerous photos in the vicinity of schools, on nearby secluded trails, and even some where he discusses what time school starts and ends, saying that he likes to be awake and ready for it. There's even photos that show other children outside from a distance, almost as if David was stalking them.
Bro,
This
what
is
the
highly
heck?
concerning.
That is crazy.
Even if we don't know truly how low this man's perversions get, he is still far too close to children, which is perfectly encapsulated by this photo of him on a school playground during the day. And with his disturbing desires, I don't even want to imagine what he's capable of. Which brings us to the final piece of content that I need to talk about. Chasing another boy running in heeled mini boots. This was the text shown on screen during a short video posted onto one of David's many accounts. And in the video, we see the man pointing the camera at himself, showing his full face of white makeup and red lipstick. This video is edited more egregiously than any others I've seen across his page, with multiple explicit images and huge emojis covering the majority of the screen. Though just barely enough of the footage can be seen that shows David as he turns the camera around, revealing a young boy. Who he then proceeds
Dude, that
to
is
chase
crazy.
after, giggling all the while. Whether this was an edited video or a real occurrence, we don't currently know.
What?
David's doings are
Bro,
a
he's
mystery
actually
that will take some
chasing,
time to
like,
unravel.
real kids,
and my
like-
hope is that law enforcement will be able to follow through and help shed some more light on this individual, and finally put an end to his twisted behavior. But at this point, only one thing is for sure. The story of Smart Schoolboy 9 is far from over.
Damn. Please do not attempt to contact David as it may interfere with their investigation. Alright, anyways, guys, that was the case of an internet rabbit hole of Smart Schoolboy 9. Okay, I know I didn't really react too much, but I mean, like, I can't really, it's just kind of something I wanted to react to, watch with you guys. But yeah, let me know if you guys want to see more reactions of, like, just like cool, I don't know, creepy, scary things like this. But